Hi, this is Councilman Mike Sareini with this edition of Meet Your Council, and today we're at the Automotive Hall of Fame next door to the Henry Ford on Oakwood, and we are joined with the President, Bill Chapin. Bill?
And thank you very much for coming here today. It's, this is a story that is a worldwide automotive story, and it's an appropriate place to be located here in Dearborn, Michigan to be able to tell that story.
Bill, as far as the Automotive Hall of Fame, when you think of Hall of Fame, you think of inductees, and I know that's what you have here as well. But before we get into the inductees, can you tell us a little bit about what kind of exhibits you have?
Well, the exhibits here really talk about the people who have been inducted into the Automotive Hall of Fame and what their contributions have been that allowed that to happen, for them to be inducted. And so it's a great walkthrough on significant people in our industry who have done significant things. And we actually tell the story of automotive people from around the world. And we are very fortunate to be located here, but our reach and our attraction for drawing people here is a global audience.
As I did tour, I seen, of course, the information regarding Mercedes-Benz and the safety that they contributed to in the beginning, and then, of course, Henry Ford and our assembly line. But also it goes back to, you have initial drawings of automobiles in the beginning, early stage, as you mentioned, like even electric cars, which were really popular now, starting in the hybrids and energies as we're selling those vehicles. But that also happened a long time ago, and I know you have a little bit of exhibit of that.
If you think about Thomas Edison, most people will say, well, he invented the electric light bulb, and of course was a close friend of Henry Ford's. But most people don't realize that he spent a lot of time trying to perfect and manufacture an electric automobile. And we have a car here, his car here, on loan from the Henry Ford next door. And I thought it was so important because this is a story about a man who frankly failed at building electric cars. And there's a great deal of parallel between what people are doing in the electric car business today with what Thomas Edison did, working in consort with Henry Ford. So I think it makes a good exhibit, and it's a great story that's relevant to what's going on today.
As far as the facility, how long has it been in operation? Can you give us a little information on that?
Yeah, the Automotive Hall of Fame moved to Dearborn in 1997, but the organization actually is 75 years old. We're celebrating our 75th anniversary here. Hall of Fame got started actually as an organization called the Automotive Old Timers in New York City, and moved around and came to the Dearborn campus here in 1997 as a more permanent location for our organization. It's been a great facility for us here because, of course, if you think about it, for the visitors and also the corporate business that we do here, we're halfway between Metropolitan Airport and Cobo Hall, and having the advantage of being sort of midway between those two anchors, it's a great location for us.
You also have a small theater in here as well. Can you tell us what type of, what they show here and how long they last?
Well, one of the things that is, one of the difficulties we have is that the auto industry and the stories are so immense and so obviously span a great deal of time that we figured that a film on the first 100 years of the auto industry was probably the way to approach it, and to give people an introduction to what they're going to see here. And fortunately, Mercedes-Benz had created a film on the first 100 years, and the wonderful thing about that film is that by coincidence it parallels many of the exhibits in the cars and the stories that we tell here in the museum.
Well, that's great. So this is right in our backyard on Oakwood next to the Henry Ford. So Bill, I thank you for letting us come in. As most of people know, I believe in history. You got to know where you were before you know which way you're going. So I hope you come out and take a visit. It's a great facility right in your back door. Bring the kids out, come and take a look at it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot for being here. I appreciate it very much.
This is Mike Sareini of this edition of Meet Your Council.